Hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Magi Chapter 212 review. The name of the chapter will be in this general area as always, but okay, I'm just going to get down to business with this one. Sinbad is one sneaky MFer, for real, like... There are so many things that I believe we don't know about Sinbad. Like, I already knew that he was kind of sneaky. Like, something felt off about him, like, when he was first introduced into the story. But now it's starting to come to light, like, his true nature. Because in this chapter, this new chapter that just came out, well, in the previous chapter, they showed that he was pretty much talking through Ren's sister Kokuku, Kyokuin, and like it was like he was projecting his voice through her, but they didn't really elaborate much on it at the end of the last chapter. So this chapter they picked up on it, and Alibaba was pretty much like, well, pretty much, long story short, Sinbad explained that he was using Zephyr, whom is one of his king's vessels that he has acquired, and with Zephyr, he can pretty much project he can pretty much take over somebody's mind and use their body kind of like as his puppet, and he can use up to 3 people at one time, which is a little scary if you think about it. And of course, Kokuyu doesn't even know that like he's taking over her body. There's nothing she can do about it. And Sinbad said himself that he has 3 people that he is doing this to, and it's her, somebody within Sandria, and somebody somewhere else that he's not going to tell Alibaba about. So during all this, they continue to have their conversation, and pretty much Sinbad tells Alibaba that even if he does betray him and go to the Co-Empire, that he will still be his ally or whatever. And Alibaba said that if he does go there, then he's going to let them know about Zephyr and about like Sinbad taking over the princess's body. And Sinbad was like, well, you might want to think this out, because what do you think they're going to do to her when they find out that I'm taking over her body, blah, blah, blah. So, either way, things are just bad for Alibaba right now. So, he doesn't necessarily go to Ren with this information. But when he goes to talk to Ren, he pretty much tells him that he really doesn't have much of a choice in becoming allies with the Co-Empire and estranging himself from Sandria and everything. So he said he will, but he had one question that he wanted to ask him, and depending on Ren's answer would determine whether or not Alibaba would or not. So he asked him, does the Co-Empire have anything to do with Al-Thaman? And pretty much, long story short, Ren said that Al-Thaman is a part of the Co-Empire. Like, he pretty much has all control over it. It's a part of his empire. So that answered Alibaba's question. But so all this time we were thinking that like Al-Thaman had things to do with like the Chancellor and Magistraut and everything, but it has everything to do with the Co-Empire. Like, Ren is the reason why all this stuff is happening. And anyways, this chapter kind of blew my mind a little bit, but so now we understand some extent of Sinbad's power, and now we understand some extent of the Co-Empire's power. But while all this was happening, they were still on their way to the island for the summit. So they showed them, like, while Ren and Alibaba are talking, Ren pretty much tells him that he doesn't trust anybody within his empire except for his brothers, of course, and his sister. So, and that even includes Hakuryu, whom he feels like he feels like is a threat, but he's not a threat. Like, he doesn't feel like, he feels like he's a threat because Hakuryu still has so much hatred in his heart and he hasn't learned to control it. But he doesn't feel like it's a threat because they kind of put it on him. Like, the reason why he is so hateful is their fault, is what my interpretation of what was said. I could be absolutely wrong, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but that was my interpretation of it. So I feel like Ren and everybody else have a hand in why Hakuryu is the way he is. So, in that was pretty much the chapter in a nutshell, was just seeing two sneaky bastards talking about how they are going to do anything and everything to protect their empire. So, Sinbad is one, just, the more I read, the more I dislike Sinbad. And I feel bad for saying that because I actually liked him when he first was introduced into the story, but I felt like something was off about him, but now I just don't like Sinbad. That's my personal opinion. But, I would love to hear what y'all think is going to happen in the next chapter, because it looks like things are about to turn up at the summit. I can't believe I just said that term. I hate the term turn up. Anyways, so it looks like things are about to get a little fired up at the summit. I'm a little worried, but as always, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.